Hi guys, Amy here, also known as Hidden Treasure Picker here on YouTube. In case you're new to my channel, I'm an online reseller selling mainly on eBay. I also sell a little bit on Poshmark and Mercari as well. In today's video, we're going to go over what sold for us between July 29th and August 4th. So stick around for that. Alright guys, I want to go ahead and go over these sales. Hopefully this will help you guys see what's selling for us, give you guys some ideas of items to maybe be on the lookout for when you're outsourcing. I find that these type of videos usually help me personally when I watch them from other people, because they do tend to show what is currently selling and gives me ideas of what to be on the lookout for when I am outsourcing. So I'm hoping that these type of videos are helping you guys in that same way. So let's go ahead and get started. So first up, we have the sale on eBay for a Nike men's golf sweater. This item was brand new with tags, which was a pretty cool find. I don't find brand new items that often, but when I do, I typically pick them up as long as, you know, they're still a good brand, something that's still worth picking up. Typically, a lot of times things that are brand new with tags are going to sell for more than used items. So we bought this for $3.20 at our local thrift store, and it sold on eBay for $35. Next are these pair of women's shoes. These were by Allegria. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it, but that's a decent brand. It does okay. It's not necessarily one of my favorite shoe brands to find. I actually recently just did a two-part video series on what some of the best shoe brands to be on the lookout for are. If you didn't watch those videos, you may want to check them out. It may give you some better ideas of different brands of shoes to look out for. So these I paid $4.26 for at our local thrift store, and they did end up selling for $20. So again, not bad. They sold, we made a profit. It's just a lot of times I find that this brand can sit for a while. So it's kind of more of an iffy kind of thing. I don't always pick it up every time I find it. It just depends. Alright, next is a pair of women's sandals. These ones were by Merrell, which is a very good brand to be on the lookout for. Paid $3.20 for this at our local thrift store, and they ended up selling on eBay for $23.98. Next is a pair of women's boots. These were a pair of New Balance women's boots. I got these for $3.07 at the bins, which, if you're new to my channel, you may not have heard me talk about the bins before. You may still know what the bins are, but in case you don't, it's also referred to as the Goodwill outlet. Basically what it is you pay for everything by the pound instead of paying for items individually. So you would go in and dig through these big blue bins, find items, and then when you check out, they charge you by the pound of how, you know, of whatever you've purchased, instead of each single individual item being individually priced. So these ended up costing about $3.07 based on the weight, and these were actually really, really good. They ended up selling for $59.97. So New Balance is one of those that sometimes does well depending on the specific model of the shoe. Apparently these women's hiking boots were a good one, so make sure you're on the lookout for those kind of New Balance. Apparently the hiking boots are, you know, more valuable to find. Alright, next up is this North Face backpack. Paid $6.39 for this at our local thrift store, and it ended up selling for $20. So not the greatest profit in the world. The North Face is a very good brand to be on the lookout for, whether it is backpacks, shirts, shoes. things like that. The North Face makes all kinds of like outdoor type gear. Certain North Face backpacks sell for more than others. There's just certain models that tend to do better. I have sold certain ones for more money before, but I'd had this one for a while, and so I ended up taking this best offer on it for $20 just to move it. It's like back to school time, so I figured, you know, that's a good time to go ahead and get rid of it. That's another thing, you know, to keep in mind right now, you guys, is that if you guys have any type of back to school items, get them absolutely listed right now if you don't have them listed yet. Because it's that back to school time. People are looking for those kind of items, whether it's backpacks, calculators, some clothes and shoes, you know, different things that, you know, kids or even, you know, people in college may need for school. It is that time of year, and that stuff is selling very well. Alright, next up is this Coach leather wallet. This we got at a garage sale for only $1, and it ended up selling for $25. So Coach is a really good brand, and this was an excellent flip. I was super excited to find this wallet at this garage sale, and it was only $1, and to be able to sell it then for $25, and I'm pretty sure it sold within about 2 or 3 weeks, so that was a really quick flip as well. Next is another pair of women's shoes. These are women's athletic shoes by Brooks. And Brooks is another really good brand, and I do talk about that in the shoe videos that I did. Paid about $4.26 for this at our local thrift store, and these ended up selling for $23.98. Some Brooks will sell for even more than that, but in general, they're a good bread and butter brand to find and sell. Alright, next is this wiffle ball bat. I found this at the bins and only paid about 75 cents for it. It's just plastic, so it's really lightweight, so it really didn't cost much at all, which was awesome, and it ended up selling for $40. So that's a crazy, insane flip there, 75 cents into $40. That's the kind of flips that I think most people dream about making all day long. Unfortunately, that's not the norm. You don't normally flip for quite that great of a profit, but I was very happy with this one. Alright, next is a hat. This was by the Henschel Hat Company, and it's kind of like a cowboy style. Found this for 75 cents at the bins also. Again, it was really lightweight, so it didn't cost very much. This one ended up selling for $19.56. Next is another pair of women's shoes. These ones were a pair of Crocs. They were just like a slip-on shoe. Paid $1.48 for these at the bins, and they ended up selling for $25. Crocs is another one that I do refer to in the shoes videos, and in general, shocking as it may seem, Crocs do sell very well. Lots of people love Crocs, and they do well. Again, Crocs don't typically sell for a ton of money, but you're probably usually going to be in the $20 to $25 range. You can usually find them cheap, even when they are individually priced, typically, not always, because I have seen them marked up. But a lot of times they're not that expensive in the store, and especially if you can find them at the bins, Crocs are usually very lightweight, so they usually aren't going to cost you that much. Alright, next is a pair of men's shoes. These were a pair of Merrell trail glove shoes. So these were kind of like that, to give you like that barefoot feeling. It was one of those type of shoes, like kind of like fit like a glove around your foot. These were interesting. Had never really seen Merrells like this before, but paid about $1.91 for these at the bins. Again, very lightweight because of the material that they were made out of, because they weren't like a hiking boot or anything like that. They're literally like a glove type fit. And so they weren't that expensive at all, and they ended up selling for $30. So again, a really good flip there. Next up is this Intellivision console. So this is like a vintage video game console from, I believe, the like 80s. So this was a really cool garage sale find. I went to this garage sale and I ended up buying a a whole bunch of stuff from this lady. She had a whole entire box full of Intellivision video games, and there was actually a couple of Super Nintendo games in this box as well, and she also had the Intellivision console and a couple other items. So basically, I made a bundle price with her for all the items that I bought at the garage sale. So essentially, this ended up only costing about 86 cents. Everything, because of the way I bundled everything together, each item only cost me about 86 cents a piece, which is just crazy and insane. It was a wonderful garage sale find. It was a very lucky find, because typically I don't find a lot of video game stuff, and a couple of the games that were in the box, especially the Super Nintendo ones, were actually really, really good games. Haven't sold any yet, so once I do, we'll talk about those. But, you know, essentially to only spend 86 cents per item because of the way that I did the bundle was amazing. So I didn't have any way, unfortunately, to test this console because I don't have like any kind of old style TV. Unfortunately, I only have, you know, like the newer TVs that are flat screen. And really, to test this kind of vintage console, you need like an old style TV to hook it up to. And I don't have that. So I really had no way to test it. So unfortunately, I did have to list it as untested and basically for parts only. But it still ended up selling for $40. Now, had I had a way to test it, the only thing is I probably could have sold it for at least twice that. If not potentially even more. Based on the comps that I saw. So unfortunately, you know, I couldn't test it, and so I did have to lower my price, but when I only paid 86 cents again per item, it was still worth it. I mean, again, 86 cents into $40, again, crazy great profit. So I was perfectly happy and fine with that. Alright, and then the next item from eBay, which was also probably the best sale of this time frame, was this Philips DVD VCR combo unit. I paid $10 for this at a garage sale, and I brought it home and tested it, and it actually completely worked, which was awesome. Because typically a lot of times, you know, you might buy these and a lot of times the VCR portion does not work. A lot of times it eats tapes. I've had that happen time after time after time. Luckily, this one worked great. Even came with the remote and everything else. And this one ended up selling for $79.97. So again, $10 into $80, great flip. Always be on the lookout for these kind of things, these VCR DVD combo units. They typically do really well. Again, just keep in mind that you're probably going to have to test it. And there always is the chance that it will not work. And sometimes you have to sell them for parts only. I have had to do that before, so just keep that in mind. There are some units that are still worth selling as parts only. I've definitely still made profit off of items like that, but just keep it in mind that you may want to do a little research when you're buying these, and if possible, test it before you even purchase it. Sometimes that's hard, especially at garage sales, because there's not really any good way to test it there. And you kind of just have to take their word for it on if they say it works. Alright, and finally I just want to go over two Poshmark sales from this time frame. First we have these fishing board shorts by Huck. Paid $3.20 for these at our local thrift store, and they sold on Poshmark for $25. Huck is a good brand to be on the lookout for when it comes to fishing items. A lot of people really like different kind of fishing gear. Like they like that, Columbia PFG, Sims. There's a few different name brands that people look for when it comes to like fishing clothing. So Huck is a good one to be on the lookout for. As you can see, these board shorts sold for $25, so that was pretty good. And finally, the other Poshmark sale was these Justin Gypsy women's cowboy boots. Bought these for about $3.17 at the bins, and they sold for $50. Cowboy boots are a really good thing to be on the lookout for. They usually do really well especially if they're any kind of name brand, like Justin. Justin is a good brand to look out for. Ariat, things like that. There's several different brands. Again, I went over some of them in my shoes videos. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Cowboy boots typically do really well, and they usually sell for pretty decent money. So if you can find them, and especially if you can find them for pretty cheap, you're going to make a pretty good profit on those. So that's it, you guys. Those are all the sales that I wanted to go over. Those were all the ones that I felt like were worth going over. As I've told you previously, typically we do have more sales than I go over, but I try to stay with the ones that are $20 and up, because I feel like anything lower than 20 probably just isn't worth going over in a video. But yeah, that's basically the sales that we made between July 29th and August 4th that, like I said, I thought were worth going over. So hopefully this helped you guys. Hopefully that gave you some ideas of what kind of items to be on the lookout for, what brands to be on the lookout for, and just in general, what's selling right now on places like eBay and Poshmark. Alright guys, if you liked this video, please give me a thumbs up. It will help the video, it'll help my channel. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe, because that way you will be notified every time I post a new video, so you can always see my newest stuff. Until next time, keep on hunting for that hidden treasure.